Good, morning everybody. It's morning for me. I'm not sure what time you're going to be practicing or following this with me. But welcome. Welcome to chair. I am sitting on my chair. My chair is on my mat for a little bit of extra security so the chair doesn't move. I do have two yoga blocks underneath my feet just to prop me up. If you do not have the items, you can always use any household items at work. A great thing for the yoga blocks is just using your throw pillows from a sofa. Just start in a nice relaxing position. All the propping of your feet does for most people, unless you have really long legs, is going to allow you to recline a little bit differently throughout the hips. Hands are just comfortably in your lap or anywhere that feels good to you. I encourage you to close your eyes and just find your breath. Just taking a few breaths to notice how you naturally breathe. Just see where your breath naturally sits in your body. Most people only breathe very shallow into the top part of the lungs. But we need the awareness to choose to take the breath deeper. And then as we bring ourselves into breath only, so just focusing on the feel and the sensation on the ins and the outs, bringing that breath in through the nostrils entirely. The inhale through the nostrils as well as the exhale. And then choosing to deepen the breath. We're going to play with breathing or counting our breath here this morning. So on the inhale, we're going to inhale for the count of 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhaling, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Continue that breath for a few on your own. Just see if you can deepen, if you can lengthen, if you can feel the breath filling you up, and then feeling yourself actually relax into your seat. Maybe feeling some tension released from the shoulders. Finding a slight constriction at the back of the throat, just to add that raspy noise to your breath. That can be your focal point as we start to move. And then we'll slowly blink the eyes open. Gently just moving in any way that comes natural to you. Moving the neck, maybe it's the Maybe choosing to keep your blocks at this point, maybe even still in a reclined position. So it's up to you if you wish to come forward. If you are coming away from the chair, however, I'm going to ask you to remove your props. If we're coming away from the chair, we want to come into a 90-degree angle. So we want our feet to just be hanging wherever is comfortable for you. The only point on coming away from the chair is you actually engage a lot more through the core just to keep yourselves upright. So coming through that center, if you have come away, really take a moment to find 90 degrees. Feel both of the sits bones firmly into the chair. Think about opening your chest as if you were shining it forward and drawing your shoulder blades down. Chin tilts a little bit slightly forward. We tend to really overextend the neck. Just bring yourselves to a neutral. Always remembering the spine is part of the neck is part of the spine. So we want to keep it perfectly in line with our backs. And then we're just going to allow the chin to drop forward. Noticing right away if your body started to slump forward, draw yourself back to that 90 degrees, continually drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Notice if you've already stopped breathing. And then we'll slowly roll ourselves back up. Gently allow the right ear to drop down to the right shoulder. If this feels pretty nice down the left side, maybe think about taking your nose towards the chin or towards the shoulder. Most likely these things will never touch, but it should give you a nicer or a stronger sensation down the right or the left side. And always taking an assessment of the body. The body tried to move. The body wants to slump. See if you can stay at that beautiful 90 degrees the entire time, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And then we slowly roll forward and draw ourselves back up, allowing your ear to go down to the left side. If this is good, you're staying here. If you have more space, and you will naturally know this. If you're not really feeling anything down the right side, you're just going to play with taking your gaze down, drawing your nose towards your shoulder. But always noticing what happens. The shoulders always want to come up. Draw them down. You'll open up so much better. And then slowly rolling forward, drawing ourselves up. Let's just take the neck in a big circle, going to the left. Maybe feeling some creaking, some cracking, maybe even hearing that. Notice again if your shoulders are trying to ride up. The shoulders like to ride up. It's easier in the body. You want to keep yourselves in a nice 90 degree, and it takes a bit of work to stay at 90 degrees. And then dropping in center and taking your circle in the opposite direction. Sometimes you really have to pause in order to do that. The mind gets stuck. One more nice circle in this direction. And then coming through center, 90 degrees. Just shrugging your shoulders up and drawing them down. Inhale, lift and sigh. Inhaling. Then we'll add some movement through the wrist. So just taking your right hand to start. Nice big circle through that wrist. No rush, just moving. And then opposite direction. Usually feels very odd when we do that. And then letting that side go, drawing up the left, and taking your circle. Always noticing if you're breathing. Just that sensation right from the beginning of practice. See if you can maintain that level of breath. Maybe you're even counting the entire time, doing the paused breathing. Paused breathing generally helps us relax. And these are things we can take with us off of our mat, out of our practice, to help us calm, or to help us be calm through life, through situations. And then gently letting that go and go to the right ankle. So drawing up through the right leg as much as feels good to you, making a nice big circle through that ankle, pointing your toes, flexing your foot. Notice the shoulders, they want to slump. See if you can open up, draw down. Think about posture the entire time, 90 degrees. And then taking that circle in the opposite direction. Again, sometimes a real pause there. And then let that side go into the left. Nice circles. Noticing if your jaw is clenching as well. See if you can smile. Smiling releases tension all on its own. And taking the circle in the opposite direction. Breathing, releasing, stacking. Still a lot going on. And then slowly letting that go. We'll come into a thread the needle. So we're going to bring ourselves more forward, most likely very close to the edge of your mat. It'll just help you feel a little more grounded and most likely give you a little more space through the hips. We're going to take the right ankle over the left thigh. So ideally the leg is coming parallel. If you're tight through the hips, this is never going to happen. Your knee might be way up here. That part doesn't really matter. Just think about drawing down through both of your sits bones. We're not allowing the weight to come to the left, and we're drawing down through the right leg, because the right leg is very active. Your right ankle is pushing into the right thigh. Make sure there's no weight going into the knee joint. And just again, come back to your beautiful 90 degrees, because right away the body likes to round. Keep yourself nice and straight. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Think about shining your heart forward. If you're here and you're really not feeling anything at all through the right leg, meaning you have a lot of space in that hip, think about drawing up even more, opening up, drawing your shoulder blades back, and maybe think about drawing your belly a little bit closer to your legs. So we're not rounding in order to come forward. We've got a nice flat back. We're at a perfect angle from the crown of our head to our sits bones. The shoulders are still drawing down the spine. Remembering it's your body, so really listen to where you're feeling this. Ideally, you're looking for this stretch to happen in the inside or the outside of the right thigh. Some people are very tight and they feel this a lot through the lower back. If that's you, you're coming back up to 90 degrees. You're looking to bring the stretch into the hip, right into the hip. Yoga comes in where we breathe. Any yoga posture is only considered a posture and asana by breath. We want to link breath with movement. So the body naturally opens on an inhale, and the opening is what allows you to move forward on the exhale, because it leaves space in the body to move. And then we're slowly going to let that side go. So wherever you are, you're coming back to 90 degrees. You're taking both of your legs down. Just gently windshield washing or moving in any way that helps you come back to a neutral. Always respecting the body that way. Neutral is where we want to be. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, grounding through the heels and taking your left ankle over your right thigh. Most people are completely different on both sides of the body, just accept. Now again, if your knee's way up, that's fine. Think about your left ankle grounding or pushing into your leg, into your thigh. Your left leg stays active the entire time, meaning the toes are pointing to the knee. This really helps protect the knee joint. Notice where your shoulders went. If you're really tight, your body will just slump forward. See if you can open up even a millimeter. We tend to sit too much and it actually shortens all our muscles. So we want to look for length, and you're going to get the length from the breath. Maybe even closing the eyes. I like the eyes closed through most things because it helps us bring our breath, bring our focus internally, which is where you're going to find the space. Sometimes when we have our eyes open, we're just looking or we have an aim. We're really trying to get our bellies down towards the thigh, but that causes the body to round. The aim is length and breath. And then gently bringing yourself out, slowly releasing that leg down. And again, just windshield washing or moving in any way that brings you back to where you began. Just that neutral, so there's no tension. And then we're going to come through a few rounds of cat and cow. So most likely pushing yourself back a little bit. You don't need a lot of space for this one. Cat and cow is intended for the spine. So think about on the inhale, taking your chest. I'm going to move to the side. The inhale, you're taking your chest open as if it was guided towards where the wall meets the ceiling. Really think about drawing down your chest or your shoulder blades even more to open. And on the exhale, we round in the opposite direction. So we take our gaze up the torso, maybe up to the belly button. Inhales, we round the other way, we open. And on the exhale, we go opposite. So think about a cat as if we were on our hands and our knees. The cat stretches, drops its belly all the way to the floor, takes its gaze up, and then we go the other way. It's meant entirely for the spine. So just think about the spine moving one vertebrae at a time as if it was a strand of pearls. One more full round, stretching, opening, and then coming through. Coming back to neutral. Find your 90 degrees. Find the release. And open the shoulders a little bit more here. I'm going to bring myself all the way back into my chair just because it's a personal preference, but I encourage you to use a chair in any way that feels good to you. Think about that 90 degrees, always that 90 degrees. We always slump. Think about opening the entire time. We're going to take our hands up for the inhale. Exhale, we're going to come towards the right, dropping the hands. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Think about your shoulders here, drawing down. Inhale, we open. And we stretch like a big cartwheel almost. Inhaling center. And the other side. Feel the breath. Feel the tension most likely in the shoulder blades. Inhale as we come up. And exhale through. Just coming back to center now. And let it go. We'll do a spinal twist before coming up onto our feet. So we're going to turn, everyone will turn to the side of their chair. We'll come to the right side. Take both of your hands to the back of your chair. Inhale, open, and exhale. Just think about rotating through the spine here. So imagine your breath is traveling up from your bottom all the way up the spine, and ideally on every exhale, it gets higher and higher, and maybe you have a little more rotation. Drawing the shoulder blades down the entire time and breathing. Inhale, lengthen. Slowly coming back to center. Countering that, taking the hands to the front, opening and taking your gaze in the opposite direction. And then we're slowly going to come through center, just switching to the other side. So rotating yourself to the left side of your chair, taking the hands to the back, inhales, lengthen, and exhale, we twist this way. Inhaling back to center, countering the twist, hands front, opening, and twisting in the opposite direction. And then we'll slowly come back, come to center, and then we're going to make our way onto our feet. So we're going to slowly come up. You're going to decide where and how you wish to use your chair. The first thing we're going to do is a balancing posture. Some of you might want to come behind the chair. Maybe you want to just use one side of the chair for balance on your left side. So we're going to start here with the balance on the left foot. We're going to ground through, and we're going to come through tree. So start with just drawing your foot up. Maybe your foot comes off the mat. Maybe you want to go a little farther today, drawing up even higher. No weight in the knee joint though. And there's never a right or wrong. Really listen to where you are today. Feel the breath, and there's nothing wrong with using two hands. Just think about lengthening to start. Really think about grounding down through your standing leg and breathing through your entire body. So the breath is moving really from your heel all the way to the crown of your head. And on the exhale, you're going to feel your shoulder blades draw down. Feel all your core muscles working, all your stabilizer muscles. Picking somewhere non-moving to stare at, something in front of you is the best thing to stare at, like the floor. Ever using your camera or your screen, just because the thing you're looking at might be moving, and that's most likely going to cause you to lose your balance. The more we can learn to use our stabilizer muscles, or the more the body can learn to use them, helps us with everything, going up and down the stairs, just basic movements in our day. As soon as we took the foot off the mat though, the brain naturally wants to think about your standing leg. So your standing leg is going to engage anyway. See if you can bring more awareness to the other leg. Think about pushing that right foot into your standing leg. It'll help you engage more through the front of the body and through the back of the body, through all our stabilizer muscles. And then slowly draw the right knee forward, let it go. Come into a mountain, just gently allowing the hands to come beside you, maybe gently rocking from right to left. Just using anything that helps us release, brings us back to breath alone. Maybe closing the eyes again, or really softening the gaze. And then we're going to make our way to the other side. So if you're at the back of your chair, you're just going to stay there. Otherwise, you're coming to the other side, and we're going to play with grounding through the right foot. This side, for most people, is going to feel different. Think about drawing the leg up. We tend to just feel sturdier or more steady on one side of the body than the other. So again, find your drishti point, something non-moving to stare at, and really bring your awareness to your breath. The breath travels through the entire body. Feel yourself lengthen and release. You'll just feel stronger and more supported by breathing. Always noticing when the postures become a little more difficult, we tend to stop breathing altogether, or we have really shallow breath, and that causes the body to tighten, to tense. Feel the breath. Enjoy the sensations through the body. Enjoy the wobbles. Smile. And I'm slowly going to draw the knee forward. Let it go. Come into that mountain. Just gently rocking right to left. Feel the release. Feel both of your feet grounded. Bring the awareness always to the front of the body, the openness through the front. We're going to just come through crescent moon from our feet here. So we're going to take the arms all the way up. We're going to interlace the fingers. Think about where your arms are in relation to your ears. You kind of want your ears to be directly in the middle of your arms. It just means your shoulder blades are open. You can have your arms bent as much as possible here. Think about lengthening. And on the exhale, taking yourself towards the right. So you're looking for a really nice stretch through the left side of the body. Grounding through both of your feet evenly. The body wants to take the weight onto the right. Feel the breath. Breath naturally lifts you. And you can maybe choose to go a little deeper on the exhale. Slowly coming back to center and let it go in your mountain. Feel yourself release. We tend to be very tight in the shoulders. Most people find that very uncomfortable, very normal. Just that gentle release. And then when you are ready, big inhale takes the arms all the way overhead, non-dominant grip with the hands. So just folding your hands or binding them in a way that feels a little awkward. And again, take the time to notice where your ears are in relation to your arms. And when you're ready, taking an exhale and just taking yourself in the opposite direction. So now we're just looking to get a nice deep stretch through the entire right side of the body. Feeling this from the fingertips all the way to the hips, maybe even to your toes. Maintaining that beautiful breath, naturally lifts. And maybe you go a little deeper on the exhale. Gently coming forward and releasing. Coming into your mountain, just letting that go. We'll play a little more with balancing. I thought we'd play with toppling tree today. So with toppling tree, you have a few options. You have two different heights on your chair. If your chair is not on a mat, I'm going to encourage you to prop your chair against a wall, though you want to feel supported here and you don't want to worry that the chair is going to move. So if you bring yourself to the top of your chair, you will probably have the most support. You just won't have to go as low. But if you feel pretty open today and want to play with it, you can come to the side of your chair or turn your chair and use the front. That part's up to you. So we're just going to take our hands down to the chair. You can touch your fingers or your fingers can be nice and flat. And we're just going to play with kicking up through the right leg. And then bringing it down. Just play with that tree feeling. Use your breath. Inhales, lengthen. And exhales, we drop. You can play with flexing the foot, pointing the toes towards the ground, pointing the toes towards the back. Just notice the different sensations that causes through the body. Your foot might only be coming up really low, but that really doesn't matter. It's just the rotation and feeling this through the standing leg and feeling it through your hips. And then we'll release that side. Just moving in any way that feels good, maybe coming up through center. Take that moment in your mountain. Just feel yourself connect again, feel yourself release. If you're really tight through the hips, you will have felt that most likely into your lower back. And then when you're ready, just coming down again, bracing yourself, and then play with lifting the opposite foot up. Remember your breath, so the inhales we lengthen, and exhales come down. Play with flexing the foot, just noticing the sensations that changes in your body. When the toes are pointing down, it generally keeps your hips right in line. When the toes are pointing up or out, we tend to want to open our hips. And remember, the body will naturally take care of the standing leg. So the more awareness you can bring to your extended leg, the stronger you become. Just because the body then has to work harder or in a different way. And that's what we want it to do. The body's actually very lazy, but it causes us to be weak. And then let it go. Roll yourself up. Take a moment. Maybe just gently moving again, swaying. And then we're going to play with that one more time. We're going to play with holding it. So we're going to bring ourselves down. We're going to ground ourselves. We're going to firmly ground through the left foot, and we're going to play with taking your right foot up and leaving it up this time. So once it comes up, again, you can play with your toes, though. I encourage playing with the toes. It just helps to engage through the foot or through the entire leg. Pointing the toes, flexing them down. Keeping your gaze down will help you find more length. The standing leg's probably talking to you by now. Quite normal. And then we'll gently release. Slowly rolling yourself up. Find your release. Full release. Just feel yourself free. Let it go. And then one more side. Coming back down. Firmly grounding this time through the right leg and playing with the left. Or not playing with, sorry, drawing it up and leaving it up. Maybe staying static this time, or maybe again moving through the feet. Whatever you're doing, you're breathing. Just always noticing when you stop breathing, and that is almost as soon as something becomes difficult. The body starts to focus on what you're asking it to do. What we're asking it to do is breathe. You will learn to get longer. You will learn to feel more engaged, feel stronger with breath. Gaze stays down, breath stays steady. And then we'll slowly release that side, slowly rolling yourself up. Take a moment in that mountain. This time we'll make mountain a little more active. So take a look down at your feet. Make sure they're only hip distance apart. Firmly grounding down through those feet. Firmly lifting through the legs. Drawing open through the chest. And drawing your shoulder blades down. Fingers in nice and wide. Gaze is going to soften, and we're gently going to allow the body to rock from right to left. Just noticing what the body wants to do. See if your toes are trying to grip the mat. Let go of that grip. And then once you feel pretty comfortable with right to left, maybe choosing to come forward and back. This is a very subtle movement, but it helps the body learn to engage, to keep you up, to keep you erect. engagement, we'll take our hands to our hips. Inhales to open the chest with a nice flat back. Make your way all the way over. Maybe bending your knees as long as you come. And just allowing a dangle here. So your hands are just going to drape to the floor or dangle in the air, whatever's available to you. Bending your knees as much as possible. Maybe swaying from right to left. Just taking a moment to breathe in an inverted position is wonderful for the body. If you have more space and want to play with it, you're welcome to grab opposite elbows. See if you can come back to where we began in terms of breath. Full belly breath. Long exhale. And then gently releasing that, we'll slowly roll ourselves back up through to standing. Take a moment in that mountain. And then we're going to come through a second set of balancing posture, a second set of tree. So you're going to start on the right leg again, on the left leg, if you want to come to the side of your chair or back to the back. And we're just going to play with drawing your right foot up. Noticing right away that you probably feel a little bit different on round two. Maybe taking your right hand to your right hip. Maybe taking your right hand to heart center as if both of your hands were in prayer. Think about lengthening, really feel the breath. Sometimes it's quite amazing when we come into something for round two. It's amazing to notice what the body did in such a short period of time. Just to reinforce everything we do has a benefit. Feel the breath moving through the body. And then slowly drawing the knee forward and letting it go. Come back into a mountain. This time just allowing yourself to rock. It's not really active, it's just a release. And then we'll do the other side. We're going to make our way over or again behind the chair, wherever feels good to you. You're getting grounded with the right foot and you're going to come into it on this side. Maybe your hand is on the hips. Maybe again into heart center. Notice right away if you're breathing. Notice right away if the tension is built up into your shoulders. Let it go. Smile. Great tension release. And then slowly releasing. So drawing the knee forward, letting it go. And last time in your mountain. Creaking, cracking, quite normal. And then we'll slowly make our way back onto our chair. I'm going to take my knees nice and wide here to give myself some space for a flow. The knees being wide is completely up to you. I'm also going to come to the front of my chair again for space, but I always encourage you to be comfortable on your chair in your space. Taking hands beside you, palms face forward. Take a moment to open through the chest. Think about opening and drawing down. And then on your inhale, you're going to take your arms up. And exhale, we're going to swan dive forward. Just a release coming through. Inhaling all the way up. Feel this flow through the body. As if you were coming through molasses. Push the hands away. Inhaling all the way up. Maybe your gaze follows. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And through. One more time, nice and deep on the in. And just let it go. through center. And we're going to come into our warrior series from the chair. So we're going to just come into warrior 2 this morning. So take a look down at your back foot. So your left foot is extending. I find this easier on the corner of the chair, but it's going to depend on your chairs and how comfortable you are. So take a look down at your left foot. Think about your left foot being at a 45-degree angle. It's grounding down through the outside edge of your foot. You can feel the pinky toe on the mat. Your front leg is also down. If your front leg is not down, you're welcome to use a block or any prop underneath it. It's just to keep the hips in line. And then we ground. Think about your hips to start. We'll take the hands to the hips and just notice if they're feeling like they're rounding. Just think about opening, shoulders down your back, grounding through the extended foot, and then either choosing to stay here or opening. Once we open, we take the hands in opposite directions. Imagine some string being tied to your fingers and they're pulling. So there's string on both index fingers pulling you in opposite directions. At the same time, you're drawing down through your shoulder blades. Feel that breath. Feel the breath naturally lift you. And feel the release down your shoulder blades. And then gently letting that go. And we'll slowly roll ourselves back into center. Take a moment here. Just take your gaze down, roll forward. Allow for gravity to pull you down. And then slowly coming up, and we'll make our way into the opposite side. So we're going to come over in the opposite direction. You're going to extend out through the right leg. And again, I like the corner of the chair, but I encourage you to figure out what feels good to you. Take a look down at your right leg. So we want to make sure your right foot is flat. Your baby toes are grounding into the mat. And then taking your gaze forward, hips stay in center. Take your hands onto the hips. Again, just notice the chest. Just notice if your body wanted to dump. Think about opening. Always about opening. Take a few breaths into that extended leg. Make it feel long. Make it feel grounded. Make you feel strong, like a warrior. And then you're welcome to stay here. If you want to open, you're taking the hands out. Palms can be down or up. This depends on your shoulders and what feels good to you. No matter where your hands are, they'll feel the breath move through the body. Feel yourself naturally open and just feel the release. Enjoy the release. And gently let it go. Coming back to center. Allow gravity. Just round in. Almost always in yoga, we're looking for opening. Now we're just allowing the body to round. Allow gravity to take over. Slowly rolling back up. We'll do one more neck stretch here. So we'll take the hands to our chair. The chair part is optional. It's going to help you go deeper, but definitely not necessary. Nothing is necessary. Listening to your body is the only necessary part of any practice. Feel yourself open. Feel your shoulder blades draw down your chest. And we'll take our gaze down to the right side, just like we began. Think about drawing your nose towards your shoulder. You're most likely feeling so much different now compared to the beginning. Maybe the chair helps you come a little bit deeper. Firmly pulling down with the left hand. Maybe that allows you to come a little deeper. All you're looking for is a nice stretch through the left side. And then releasing, coming through center, coming back up, and going the opposite way. So the nose comes down to the left shoulder, Maybe your right hand pulls, maybe you find a little bit of a deeper stretch here, maybe you stay exactly where you began. And then coming to center, rounding up. Let's come through one more round of cat and cow. So we'll take the hands onto the thighs if that's comfortable. And remember your cat and cow, so you take the belly forward, the gaze up. And on the exhale, you round through. Inhaling, we open entirely above the spine. Imagine it's a big strand of pearls. And back. One more round, opening. And through. And then coming up through neutral. And then we're just going to end our practice the way we began. So you're going to make yourself comfortable. I'm going to come back to using 2 of my blocks. I'm actually going to prop myself up even higher than where I began. That part is always optional. Everything is optional. And then allowing yourself to rest. Palms can be in the center, palms up for energy. Allow your chin to tilt down. Feel that breath moving through the body. If you're having a problem with focusing on breath and your mind is really started to become a very busy place, take your hands to your belly. Feel the breath move through the body. And then slowly allowing your breath just to resume its natural, or your body to resume its natural breathing. Maybe doing a slight assessment through the body, just feeling yourself from the toes all the way up to the shoulders, the crown of your head. Hopefully noticing how much more open you feel. Hopefully you've lost some tension. Maybe you've let go of something that you could not control. Just feeling lighter. And then you're always welcome to stay here for as long as you like in that resting posture. I'd just like to take a moment to thank you for allowing me to guide you. I thank you for joining me for practice, flowing with me. I encourage you to take these feelings off of the mat. Take your practice with you into your life. Namaste. Until we meet again.